Welcome to this time out with Marcos Ikure. Today we are going to be having a very interesting and wonderful moment. We have someone very special in the studio, somebody whose name has become a household name. Recently, the African youth community rated him amongst the 10 most prolific speakers in the whole Africa, and of course, globe at large. Now, this is not a name that is strange to any of you. I promise you, who am I talking about? I'm talking about our own father, mentor, and guide, Dr. Charles Apoki in the house. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
Wow. What an amazing time,
I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you
This
for coming.
beautiful environment.
Yes. You're welcome, sir.
My mind is tuned to being in the Caribbean.
Wow. You can say that again.
Beautiful place, yes.
Yeah, great. Yeah, we are reaching you live from the Rivote Hotel and Golf Resort. By the way, we are reaching from the bank of the River Ethiop. Like you can see the beautiful River Ethiop. Today, we want to share our thoughts on a very interesting topic. We want to talk about youth and politics. That's the Nigerian youth and politics. And we are using Delta State as a case study in this discourse. Now, sir, dating our minds back to a pre-independence period,
Yes.
you'll find out that the youth of this country were very active, and those who fought for the independence of Nigeria, 99% of them were youth.
Yes.
And look at someone like Antonio Naro. He raised the motion for the moved the motion for the independence of Nigeria in 1958 at the age of 38.
Even younger, 27.
Oh, sorry, 27. As a youth, Gowon became the president of Nigeria at the age of 27. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Obafemi Awolowo, and many of all these people we sing praises for today, and we read about in our history and all that. They were youths when they came into active politics. And today, what we are seeing today is quite shocking, and nothing to write home about the youth of this the current youth we have. We have this challenge of a lot of people, the politicians just using everybody, and they don't really, as it stands, the politicians of today, they don't seem to believe, in human capital development. They don't seem to believe in even infrastructural development. They just come into power and they just do anything they want to do with relish. And the youth today who are supposed to be the checker, many of them are just doing nothing but just to clap and praising these people. Now, we at some point were thinking that 2023 is going to correct a lot of things. But with what is currently happening, there seems not to be hope, because these youths are now queuing. Instead of thinking of charting a new course for themselves to rewrite the history, they are now queuing behind these same oppressors. So I don't really know. What do you have to say about the current trend and what's happening in Nigeria today?
It is very easy to blame the Nigerian youth.
Okay.
But the Nigerian youth is a product of my generation. I'm 63.
Wow.
My eldest son is 36.
Okay.
So he's no longer a youth even.
Wow.
So these youths we are blaming, they are our children. We produce them.
Great.
I am a product of another generation. You see, the generation of a Nahoro, they went to the University of Ibadan.
Okay.
I went to the University of Ibadan.
Okay.
I lived in a room of my own. I ate chicken. When I went to Federal Government College, Warri, I ate chicken. I ate Quaker Oats.
Wow.
When I went to Government College, Ughelli, they gave us uniforms free.
Free?
They sold our uniforms. We paid 60 pounds.
God.
At one point, we were eating a cow every day.
A cow?
Every day.
Can you hear that?
We were eating a cow every day. They supplied books to me. My father was a gate man. My father was a refuse collector.
Wow.
The Nahoros, the Gowons, whoever, went to the UK. Gowon went to Sandhurst, and they saw what a society was supposed to be like.
Wow.
They saw beauty, and then they had a desire to replicate what they were seeing. What does the average Nigerian youth see in Nigeria?
Oh my God.
He sees a very dirty environment. He sees his father not being paid his pension. He sees a university. I did a master's in Abraka here at the age of 56.
Wow.
There were no toilets. Abraka here, you'd be surprised that girls defecate inside polythene bags and throw over the fence. They call it short put.
That's so sad.
In the lecture hall, when I sit down, the food I ate was coming out of my nostrils. Because the seats were bad, no electricity, the lecture halls are not swept. Wow. So when you raise children in that kind of environment, they behave like the environment. The youths of today they have nothing they are looking up to. I became a medical doctor, opened my first hospital at the age of 29, because my father saw Dr. Stevenson and told me in primary 4, you are going to be like Dr. Stevenson.
Wow.
A vision and a hope was created for me, and I aspired to become that person. And I worked in that same hospital where my father used to come and collect refuse. We have not created hope and vision for our children. We have not created an enabling environment for them to groom their personalities, for them to groom their talents, for them to groom their potentials.
Wow.
And somebody told me in Springs in South Africa when they introduced me, meet Dr. Apoki from Nigeria. He said Nigerians criminals. I told him that he should shut up his mouth, that I fought for the independence of South Africa. And that criminality is intelligence looking for an avenue for manifestation in the midst of oppression and deprivation.
Wow.
The youths you are seeing today are products of weaponized poverty.
Wow, weaponized?
Weaponized poverty. Weaponized systematic deprivation. How can Buhari has never paid for anything he's enjoying?
My God.
The uniforms he wore, they sold for him. He joined the army maybe at the age of 18 or whatever. They sold uniforms for him.
Wow.
He lived in a barrack paid for. They paid him salary. They gave him car. They sent him overseas for training. What has Buhari paid for?
Wow.
Our youths today cannot join the army until a major general signs his form. Who signed for Buhari?
So pathetic.
Who signed for David Ejo?
So pathetic.
So the youths have nothing to look up to. When you have something you are looking up to, you develop restraint and drive.
Oh my God.
So weaponized poverty. How will the youths queue into Nigerian politics? When to collect the form is 27 million to be governorship candidate in APC or 15. Where will the youth get 15 million for?
Oh my God.
So if you have deprived him of the capacity to participate, he becomes an observer or a follower.
Wow.
Until we make politics in such a way that it is not monetized the way it is, our youths will come out to contest. If politics is made in such a way that you have easy access to power, look at what is going to happen in one of your constituencies now. Somebody who is there, a political godfather, wants to replace that person with his daughter.
It's so pathetic.
Whether the person is performing or not, whether the daughter is going to perform or not. So if the youths don't have political godfathers, how can they perform? How can they participate in politics?
Wow.
So that is the situation.
It's a terrible situation.
The youths are suffering from weaponized poverty,
wow. I love
deliberate subjugation, and destruction of their vision.
Wow, that's fantastic. That word is heavy, weaponized poverty.
Yes.
Now, sir, I want to bring this to your notice. From what you've said now, do you think would be right to say that what the youths of today are currently experiencing and the current state of affairs that they are facing is a deliberate orchestration by politicians? And why would they do a thing like that?
You see, power is like a drug. And you see, among black people, the mind of a black man is still in the monarchical era. Mansa Musa era, the area of Sondiata, where you had a monarch that was stupid. Mansa Musa was the richest man on earth at one time. He was going to Mecca, he would be throwing gold all over the place.
Wow.
So the average black man does not like another person progressing. He feels intimidated when he sees, even we who have parents, who have children.
Yes.
Like now, I have children, and unless you pull your children to join you in your business, you will find that most children find it difficult to work with their parents because their parents still see them as children. My mother was asking me when I was taking deliveries already. You are taking deliveries. She was still seeing me as a child. Even though I had gone to medical school and she was a semi-illiterate, she was an illiterate.
Wow.
So, number one, the culture in Africa is such that you are not supposed to question leadership.
Okay.
You are not supposed to question your elder. But let me come back. You see, the military interregnum, the military intervention in politics,
Yes.
showed that it was only the educated people that were able to oppose them. And they made a vow, I suspect,
Okay.
that they will destroy education so that the educational institutions will not produce people like me.
Oh my God.
I'm able to speak the way I speak in this country because none of them feeds me.
Hmm.
I'm not running after any political office. None of them can intimidate me.
Of course.
I was in the university, the same hall with Okowa. Ambode was my junior.
Yes.
A lot of the governors in this country were my juniors, and I'm more intelligent than them.
Of course.
So
of
none
course,
none of them can intimidate me.
Of course.
I schooled with the children of the elite from a poor home. They now found out that if you can destroy education,
Wow.
make it in such a way that the children of the poor will not have access to education through social justice, then they will remain perpetually inferior and parasitic to them.
Oh my God.
If they discover that if there is employment and the youth is